Here again, I am to talk about my favorite topic, and that is yoga. Now, as boring as it can get to listen to a lecture, there is something that I need. I feel it is payback time, all the wonderful experiences that I have had in the journey of practicing and learning yoga. I should share with uh, people who would need it, and therefore I need to break this monotony. I need to break this myth that yoga is considered worldwide as an alternative means to exercise or workout, and it's just asanas. Whenever people ask me, they say, okay, have you done yoga? So, which means that they are referring to the asanas, the physical part of yoga. Okay, does yoga have cure for this disease? And yoga has cure for that disease. So yoga is seen as more of a curative method, but yoga is a lifestyle. Yoga is way of living. Now, when we are brought up in our parents' house in a particular society, everything is also it's structured in such a way, it's all predetermined that this is how the society runs, this is how our family values are, and this is what needs to be followed. Wearing blinders, do not think out of the box, do not try to use your own creativity, because such people are seen as either morons or threats in society. And uh, your parents or your elders are constantly trying to uh, protect you, save you, pull you back, don't make mistakes, don't do this. We've been through that road. So they're trying to save you, but actually they're trying to kill your experience of it's like if you have to learn to swim, you've got to experience a little bit of drowning, because unless and until you come to a threshold, you will not know how to save yourself. And the very fact that we learn to swim, or we learn to do a lot of things, it is just because we need to be prepared at all times. If we need it, we need to know how to use it, to apply it in our lives. Some common basic things, swimming is one of them. So, yoga is more of psychology, okay? It is more to do with knowing human behavior, human mind. Now, it says that the most evolved species, and it's not to be believed blindly, but it's understood by now that all the creation today, the advanced creation today, is made by humans. So human mind is the most evolved from all the species. So how now we have to deal mostly with humans, right? We're social animals, we live in society, and we need relationships to count on, and directly or indirectly we're seeking for relationships, whether it is in friendship, or it is with a colleague, if you're spending most of the time in your office, your workplace, with parents, with some relatives, or sometimes with siblings. With parents, normally it's by default. You really don't have to work so much on your relationships. You tend to take it for granted also. But with siblings, after a certain point of time, with relatives, you really have to work hard. Now, um, at all times we are trying to learn from errors. We just go back and forth, we do trial and error. We're trying to learn psychology, how to crack the code and how to get the work done, or how to get a deal. uh, I'm using a different language to explain that. If I need to get some work done, or if I need say example love, or I need to get married, or I need promotion, or I need a job, or I need A grades, or whatever the motivation. We're constantly dealing with psychology, we're constantly dealing with human behavior and human mind. Therefore, it is important to understand yoga as psychology and science that has expertise in dealing with human mind. This is exactly what many yogis have discovered thousands and thousands of years back, and it's a wonderful science. Our modern science is just like started to discover a lot that yoga scriptures have had in their treasure for thousands of years. The modern science has just started to research on these things just a couple of hundred years back. It's not that old. So people vouch these days a lot on modern science, and they need scientific facts, and they need evidences to things. But when it comes to understanding human behavior, human mind, you need to understand your emotions, you need to understand yourself, you need to study yourself, you need to study your thoughts, you need to understand what is quantum physics, you need to understand what is energy, how are you you know operating yourself. Like, we are constantly focused on others, outside world, because our senses are moving outwards, so we're constantly trying to crack code that how it would work with A or B or C particular person. But that's not how it goes. It simply means that you need to know yourself to know the world, to know the universe. You need to know yourself because you have the entire universe right inside you. Now, some people may understand this, some people will take some time to understand this. And this is exactly what my mission is, to enlighten people to understand the psychology of human behavior, human mind, and how you can know yourself. It's a very interesting subject. Once you get to know yourself, you can solve your problems on your own. You don't need doctors, astrologers, psychics. You don't need, of course, you need teachers for guidance, but you don't need to blindfold yourself, and you don't need gods, and you don't need big organizations to give it your donation and get your work done. uh, just pass me through the exams and get me married and get my I want kids and etc etc. But it is all in your hands. That's how powerful your mind is. If you know how to deal with your mind, that's what the scripture Bhagavad Gita says. If you know how to deal with your mind, you know everything. If your mind is in your control, it's your only best friend, and if your mind is out of your control, it's your only worst enemy. So how to become friends with yourself, and how to bring more peace in your world, how to bring balance in your world, how to learn law of attraction, how to become like a magnet. These are some things that fascinates us day in and day out. When we look at celebrities, we look at successful people, and we want to become like them, but we don't want to make the same errors that they made. One needs to know that you cannot uh, follow someone else's rule book, or what someone else has followed in their life to become successful. It will not apply on you. It doesn't work that way. You will have to channel your own path. You will have to find out your own path. You may get inspired, you can borrow inspiration. Some ground rules are the same. There is no shortcut to hard work, all right? There is no shortcut to hard work. You will have to work it on your own. And you know you in this one lifetime, you can achieve anything you want, provided you understand your mind, provided you understand how things really work and can work in your favor. If you want to go much ahead in life. So think about it next time you talk about yoga. Let's not limit ourselves with this, vast knowledge of yoga. Let's not limit ourselves only to 1.1% of asanas and meditation and kriyas and pranayam and say that that's all yoga is all about. No, that's not yoga. Yoga is knowing yourself, and it's a very fascinating and interesting subject. And once you know yourself, wow, you're just going to enjoy your company, all right? And it is not abnormal. Talking to yourself, knowing yourself, assessing yourself is not abnormal. It's the only thing that's normal, all right? In the outside world, it's considered abnormal to talk to yourself, to spend time with yourself, to pamper yourself, to love yourself. It is considered more normal to be with someone else, but you cannot enjoy someone else's company unless and until enjoy your company. You have to appreciate yourself. You have to accept yourself the way you are. Only then will you learn to accept another person completely and holistically. I hope you like this video. If you do, then please do like, give your valuable comments, and share this video. Thank you. Namaste.